Hello and welcome, this is Melskinner, and we're back with some more of the Beast and Exploration DLC for Battle Brothers. We just defeated some goblins, we have some level ups to take care of. I am also going to move this guy out of combat. We also took an injury here, which I honestly don't know if there's anything I can do about at the moment because we don't have any more people in reserve. How long are you? 1 to 3 days, 2 to 5 days. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, let's go ahead and do the level ups first. Now, I did discuss taking Gifted here if we absolutely needed to, but let's see what we get on a roll first. Okie dokie. So, looks like we've got good defense, and then I'm going to take the hit points because we are behind on that. Okay. So this is where I have to decide what I want to do with this guy. So, stats-wise, he's actually not that bad. Like, as far as his melee skill, his defense skill, for somebody of his level, he's pretty good. The problem is, his fatigue is terrible. His health, we've actually gotten to a point where it's starting to be okay. So, the question is, do we take Gifted and I hope to boost his fatigue to a more reasonable level? Do we just accept that he's a little bit behind the curve in that regard and start taking things like fast adaptation that is going to help him be a better character? Because what I could do is I could take Gifted, which would give him better stats. Then we take Brawny, which allows him to wear heavier armor without as much fatigue penalty. And at that point, he could probably wear decent gear and be alright. Now, what would I take if I took Gifted? Well, I'd probably take the fatigue. I would take the hit points. He's pretty good in a lot of the other ways. I guess his initiative is pretty bad. Because if we were to compare that, I mean, honestly though, his initiative is probably screwed. Yeah, his initiative is being screwed right now by this. So his initiative is probably not that bad. Yeah. So it's a matter of how I want to do this. Do I just hope that he starts getting better rolls at some point and then we get these abilities? Or do we go the other route and we just try and make him a more useful character and then start worrying about getting fast adaptation and other things? It would take quite a bit of level ups to start getting that at a very baseline level, so that's why I'm really not sure what to do with his character. I think I take fast adaptation and just kind of hope that we get better rolls. If we don't get those better rolls, we could always take Gifted later. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. We want him to be a more useful character now, because he may not be in as many fights. We want him as a replacement character. So that's what I'm going with. May not be the right choice, but it's what I went with. Okay. So Ralph, no doubt about it, is going to take Spear Wall, or Spear Mastery, I should say. Let's see what kind of rolls he gets. Looks like we're definitely going to be taking the defense stuff. And then other than that, we could take fatigue. I mean, he's pretty good on fatigue at the moment. It's always good to have more and more, though, honestly. I really want him to get melee skill here. I'm going to take this other defensive stat, too. I mean, not getting hit is a pretty important part of this game. Okay, so now that we have that, what is our last thing going to be? I mean, honestly, any of these things would help us. I'd say our hit points are decent at 70. Fatigue, we're ahead of a lot of our other people, but we're going to want heavier armor as the game goes on. Resolve does help, especially as we're going to be against undead, and they seem to have resolve affecting abilities, or at least resolve is the one thing that you kind of have a disadvantage on against them. So I think I'm going to go with that roll, even though my gut would tend to go more towards fatigue, but that's, you know, that's all right. Definitely we're taking Spear Mastery, because I think that's a pretty important ability. And it also does reduce the fatigue cost of doing various things, which I always tend to think is pretty important. Okay. So we're good with our level ups. Let's go ahead and sell... I mean, we could sell things here, or we could sell in another village. We do have to go back to Vidoff here, either way. Unfortunately, these guys are still going to have the green skin event. until we go and clear this thing, so their prices are probably going to be bad, especially as they're neutral to me. Yeah, I'm thinking about, yeah, let's just go ahead and turn in that contract and we'll go from there. And we'll sell these goods at another town that we get to. I'd rather just be on my way. I do want to find a taxidermist. Where is there one on my way? Nothing there. I think the taxidermists are up here, if I remember correctly. Well, we may end up having back there, because right now my priority is to start looking to get better armor for some of my guys. At the moment, we kind of have a baseline of the basic mail shirt for a lot of our guys, so we're not doing too bad. But I'm going to continue to try and build up a relationship with towns that have the things that we need. Better weapons would also help. Not as high on my priority list for a lot of my men, at least for the frontline guys, because with this strategy, I'm going defensive. So having my front line be more survivable is a lot of what we're going for. We could attack that this little thing to figure out what it is, but for now, I'm just going to go ahead, continue along the path here, and we'll stop at Steinberg and sell the goblin stuff, because it's on our way. As far as supplies and food and other stuff goes, we're not doing too bad. And money-wise, we're doing pretty well as well. Alright. What do we got? Mustering troops. Order has been given to muster troops for service in the settlement. Equipment and recruits are in short supply, but a quick crown can be made by selling arms and armor here. Well, we are going to be selling arms. They're going to be goblin arms. Not sure if that is going to give us a better price or not. So, yeah, notch blades I don't think are particularly all that great. And the shields tend to be worse. I mean, they are good in the standpoint as they don't build up a lot of fatigue. But they are also not very durable. They're also, I don't think, much better than a buckler? They're better for range defense, that's about it. What about on health? So this is on par with a buckler, but it has more fatigue than a buckler. This is the same fatigue as a buckler. So I would say not necessarily an upgrade. We'll also sell the bows. I'm not really a big fan of the goblin bows. We're fine on our arrows too, so we'll sell those. Okay. That's gonna pretty much do it. We don't really need food or anything at this point. Maybe eventually down the road we will, but prices aren't good here, so we'll just leave it at that. Really quick though, I just want to check my men over and see, is there somebody that could be throwing things that doesn't have a throwing thing at the moment? I mean, you do. Yeah, we're just not really set up very strongly for that. The one guy that was set up that way died, and this guy, he's set up that way, but he's injured at the moment. Oh, we need dogs. We need to replace our dogs. Is there a place for a kennel nearby? I think there is somewhere. And not too far from where we are. I don't remember. Yeah, okay, there's one. And we're going to want to go up north anyway. So we'll go get our pay. Oh, okay, cool. Geralt and Oswald, the strongest men in the outfit by some measure, are apparently undertaking something of a competition to see who is better. You watch as they carry enormous stones from one side of an ad hoc competitive ground to the other. Then they take turns seeing how far they can throw these very stones. and then they roll the stones up a nearby hill, and then they see who can completely bury a stone the fastest. All in all, there are a lot of heavy stones being jostled about, and by the end of the festive affair, both men are completely exhausted. Even without a winner, the time-honored tradition of moving rocks around to no real end has improved the men's morale, so they get +1 fatigue. That is actually really good. I should have probably paid attention to who that was. So you and you, I think. It was Geralt was one of them, and I think Oswald was the other one. I'm not 100% positive on that. Problem is I don't actually necessarily have better armor for you. No, I don't. I don't have better armor for either guy. I mean, I guess you could do it with an improvement. Oh, 5, 95. That is -10. -10. Yeah, let's go with that. And then this guy, he's already at this level, so we'll go ahead and upgrade him with that. It was a mistake to use the pelt on this armor piece, but oh well. I do have another armor upgrade, but I don't feel like we've gotten armor that I think is worth upgrading at this stage. Unless, of course, we wanted to upgrade one of our back liners. But, oh well. Okay. I think I'm happy with that. We end up with a little bit more armor on this guy. And we end up with a little bit more armor on that guy. That's all good. Just looking around to see if there's somebody that we're missing that could do with the better armor. I don't think so at the moment. Alright, well, let's continue. That was a good event to have. And there was our midday tick, so let's see if anybody recovered from an injury. Nope. Oh well. I do like events like that, but there are also events like that that are permanent problems. I mean, people get traits they didn't have before. I don't think I've ever seen somebody lose stats, but maybe it's possible. I don't know. Okay, you're going to get to this town at night, unfortunately, but that's okay. Yeah, I have some ruins here. Okay, Baron, we'll just call him Hank von Periwingers, regaling a woman with tales when you return. Her giggles turn to a longing stare as you enter. He sees this and quickly scoots her out, lest the presence of a real man give her the fainting fits. So, Sword, what news do you have? You bring the head of a greenskin out of a burlap sack. Baron Hank von Periwinger gazes at it, purses his lips, smiles, frowns, seems not sure what to do with what he's looking at. Right. Well, your pay is here, as promised. He heaves a wooden chest onto the table. Bring that girl back in here when you leave. Okay, so they no longer have Marauding Greenskins, but we're nowhere near that place, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so 780 crowns. Let's see what's here. We have a 2-skull thing. They do have raided going on right now. And then we have a 2-skull contract as well with them. That is a faction contract. Well, let's really quickly just leave town. We're very friendly here. They don't have any shops that concern me, though, as far as stuff that we'd want. And I kind of already decided that I don't want to hang around here too much. And I can pretty much guarantee what that 2-skull contract is going to be with the rated effect, unless, of course, the faction mission is going to be any different. And that faction mission could take us anywhere within their faction. Sometimes it's specific to the village, or it's going to be around the village, but it could be anywhere. And I really don't want to have to walk back over to Gronenberg or down here. It's going in the opposite direction of where we want to go. I want to go up to Jaderwall. I want to get our replacement dogs. And I also want to start working toward my way over to a taxidermist, because we have possible craftables Yeah, there's one up there. I think the other one is Burkane over here. There may be ones down the south, but I don't think that they're all that close to where I am. I forget what's over here. And I don't know how many taxidermists tend to be in a world. Those actually may be the only ones. I mean, a lot of the villages in this world just have a whole lot of nothing. That's all that interesting. Most of the cool stuff tends to be in the cities, which is unfortunate because you can't really build up a relationship with them and get better prices. So I'm just gonna move on. We're all right enough with food. I think this town does okay. Well, it's neutral. That's fine though. We want to get dogs, and I think the dogs have been cheap there historically. So we're just going to move along. We're going to look to better our company. Because we have a decent amount of cash. And it looks like there was a fight there, but they got taken care of. Oh, what do we got here? We got goblin raiders. But we may have a mercenary helping us with this fight. So it may be worth taking. Problem is we could rack up more injuries, which would make us have a harder time. We'll wait until they engage. There we go. Let's get in here and see if we can get some loot out of it. Oh. I don't think I've ever seen these guys before. Some Alps. Sure what that is. Well, we'll engage and see what happens. Okay. Well, we're gonna just hold here. We don't know where the enemy is at this stage. That doesn't sound good. Okay, hold. Hold. Sounds like the mercenaries might be a lot of dogs, which is actually a bad thing, because dogs are, I'm not gonna say useless, but they can be. We'll start kind of meandering over to the high ground. See if we can figure out what's going on here. Go up as high ground as we can get. Sure hope the enemy's not up on this high ground, because otherwise we're going to be in trouble. But yeah, we have no idea where the enemy is. But I'm not liking the sounds I'm hearing. What in the hell is happening? Their numbers just skyrocketed and then it plummeted again. Okay, I don't know what an Alp is, but I'm starting to get a little unsure of what I want to do here. This terrain is pain. I'm gonna wait until we get a better idea where the enemy is. And this guy's gonna probably give me that vision. It looks like we're still a ways away from the combat. Alright, let's start going up this way. In some ways, I'm kind of glad I'm not there yet. To wherever the fighting is. Alright, well, this is a good point, I think, for a cut, so we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.